leave it to base Ishida, dude. Oh my god, when I saw Yoriko at the end of this chapter, I was just fanboy like I was like, Yoriko! She looks so sexy right now, dude. But this is as per usual. Leave it to Ishida to take one of the primary characters of this series, one of the first characters introduced, who's flown under the radar this whole time and only truly served as a centerpiece to showcase Toka's humanity and that friendship, basically Toka's Hide for all intents and purposes, to bring her back and give her this tie, which will definitely ripple outward and going forward. Ishida does nothing half-assed. Ishida does nothing without a purpose. You see it time and time again with the symbolism, the foreshadowing, the developments, the character relationships, and the very fact that Yoriko and, young Kuroiwa, aka Bujin, know each other. There's definitely something to that. And it's definitely going to have an effect going forward, just that tie. Whether Toka's involved in the aftermath of it or not, something's going to take place with that. That's definitely going to be key going forward. So I'm hyped to see how Ishida uses Yoriko's character going there. But just to see her again, I was like, dog. If we don't see my boy Hide in 30 chapters, I'll get back to this. But I have to talk Hide at the end of this review. But instantly, when I saw Yoriko and that relationship between her and Bujin, I was like, yo, that they're childhood friends. But then the next second I was like, wait, but they're referring to each other, with their last names. It's too formal. They're probably not. So I'm really curious to see how they know each other. Whether it could be, I'd be hyped if they were dating right now or some shit like that, because that will be interesting as fuck. But I really want to know how they know each other and how Ishida plans to use this going forward. But this chapter, dude, Tokyo Ghoul, chapter 36, just always on point, dude. Always with that. All right. 3 hypest parts of this chapter, and you already know, we're going in depth, we're going page by page, we gotta go in, dude. But the 3 most hype parts of this chapter, and 2 of them were subtle, but definitely a lot of setup for events going forward. My boy HIRAKO has rejoined Arima the God, dude. The tag team is back, the tag team of old that took down the clowns in the past, dude. I'm hyped. That got me so hyped. I can't wait to hear that dialogue. I don't know what kind of crazy shitstorm is coming our way in terms of that relationship. And we know Hirako's personality, and something took place between them in the past, plus the clowns and everything. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to get back into this. I never thought the day would come, but we'll get to that. Right? Next thing that I found extremely fucking hype is, after that conversation with Sasaki and Uta, which that was amazing for me in itself, because you guys know how much I love Uta. That's one of my best boys, top 5 characters. But after that conversation, at the very least, Sasaki's getting a new mask. At most, which I think is very likely, the entire Q squad is going to be rocking Uta wares, dude. That's going to be epic, dude. And last thing with this chapter that was just utterly just amazing to me was HAIRU going in, dude. HAIRU is a fucking beast, dude. If she's this good, that's a testament to how beast Kuroiwa is, dude. Because he is Arima's last protege after Tai. He was his last assistant. And being promoted to where he's been promoted to the leader of S3 and everything like that, I'm sure he's a god, okay, at that point. Just seeing what HAIRU can do, dude, it's too real out here. But let's dive into the chapter. Let's go in depth. Start from page 1 and get into everything. So Hirako's transfer, Kuramoto and Sasaki are having this conversation and everything like that. Kuramoto's basically like, I'm in the Ito squad now, and apparently Hirako's been scouted for a while for a new position for quite some time, right? And the man, first of all, one thing I said it before when everybody was getting the promotions, and I'll say it again, the man needs a promotion, dog. He's been first class for ages. The man deserves a promotion. That's all I can say. He's a beast. Hirako should not be trifled with. That's all I'm going to say, right? And then Kuramoto's like, my promotion might have been for certain reasons and everything like that. And Sasaki's like, where did he transfer? And as soon as I see this, when he's like, Arima squad, and you see the 2 of them standing across from each other, dude, I was like, holy shit. He's like, after Ui got promoted, the Arima squad has been weakened, basically. And everybody in CCG is basically like, Hirako's the only one that can fill that void. Hirako's the only one that can keep up with Arima and be partnered with him, dude. And just seeing them stare each other down, there's kind of this tense, somber air between them, dude. Yeah, I'm hype. I'm ready. That's big for me. That's so big because you guys know how much I love the god Arima and how many times I've talked about Hirako in the past. So it's gonna be fucking crazy. It's gonna be absolutely crazy, right? But Kuromoto's not feeling this vibe. He feels unsettled and everything like that. This next page is amazing because it gives me a little something from Sasaki's perspective and everything like that. He's trying to figure out where the Qs can shine in this operation. He's like, they got Kijima on the case, they got Fura working together, they got fucking HAIRU, Kori. There's so many people. The level of expertise that's out here, what he says, is insane. He's like, I feel like they're going to get there before us. HAIRU's there too. Actually, they might already be on the move. And you see him fucking adjusting his glasses and whatnot. And there's a quick little line. He's like, I feel like my eyes got worse again, dude. And that just once again, Sasaki and the eyesight shit, and that the pain in the back of his eye that he was referencing before, him losing his sight and everything. Like, I wonder if it's a permanent thing from the infliction of that wound from Arima and everything like that. But otherwise, you know, it's just interesting to see stuff like that just subtly woven in there and everything. But like, he's just thinking to himself, and that's what makes me believe why he truly went for Uta. Dual purpose for sure. But he's like, what trait can we as Qs take advantage of? And next thing you know, it cuts back to the scene with him and Uta. And Uta just once again playing with people heavy, dude. Just lies on top of lies. You know, manipulation, just for fun, dude. He's like, yo, I didn't send you this. I must have sent it to the wrong person. And Sasaki's not stupid. Sasaki's well aware. He understands Kaneki lurks within him. And he's well aware. He sensed the connection between him and that mask. And he knows Uta sent it for him. And Uta knows that he knows, dude. It's just this kind of vague, you know, beating around the bush type thing. Because ultimately what Sasaki needs Uta for right now, he can't recognize him or acknowledge the fact that he's a ghoul. He's looking in his eyes like, those eyes are interesting, bro. Got the Kakugan on deck just at all times. And the man's like, nah, this is a tattoo. I injected some black ink up in here. It fades after a couple years, though. And that, honestly, no lie, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. I wouldn't be surprised if all this time, because I've always wondered personally, how, like, it's been beast to me. I love it that Uta's Kakugan is just always activated, because it just adds to how fucking amazing he looks, dude. Uta's character design is one of my favorite in this series. Probably my favorite character design in this series. And if he's been trolling us the whole time and it's just straight up he injected ink into his eyes, that's gonna be funny as fuck. But we can't tell for sure what's what with that either way. But this kind of beating around the bush conversation is basically Uta just playing games. He knows what's up, and Sasaki having to turn a blind eye to it simply because he needs something at this moment, and there's nothing else he can really do to press the issue without revealing his cards. So all he does is ask if the book was also sent, you know, by Uta, which it's either, like I said before, Eto sent it and signed it again, or my boy Hide sent it. And we're going to get back to the Hide shit last, because after this chapter, I just feel like talking about Hide today. But, like I said, the dynamic was amazing. The man asks him at the end of the dialogue and everything like that, after he tells him to keep the mask, which is a further indication that they both know what the fuck is going on here, dude. He's like, do you make custom masks? And this coming off of his thought process of, well, what can we take advantage of? What trait do we have that we can use and bring to this investigation? The very fact that they are the Q Squad, that they have Kagune within them. If they fucking start running around with masks, all of them, and trying to integrate into ghoul society, trying to pose as ghouls, it could very well work out. It could very well work out. So I'm hyped to see the Q Squad in masks, dude. It's going to be fucking epic if that's how it goes down. At the very least, Sasaki's getting a new mask, and that works for me simply because, yes, the Kaneki mask is iconic as fuck, but the separation between Sasaki and Kaneki is a true, real thing. It's just necessary. We all know this at this point. And I think it's hype for Sasaki to get his own mask, even though we don't know how much longer his standalone persona is gonna be running around. But that's a discussion for another day, right? Then we get to the hype sauce, dude. Then we get to the fucking crazy shit. We got fucking this fiend over here, dude. Kijima just going in, man. But before that, HAIRU's going, and it's Fura. We don't get to see Fura do anything, which doesn't upset me, because there's one panel of him just like with his hands in his pocket just dodging some shit. I'm like, yo, my boy Fura, he's a boss. He's an absolute boss, right? But basically, we had Matsumae and her attendant, I forget his name right now, it's like Arima or something like that, versus HAIRU, dude. And she's fucking just, she's making faces, she's taunting, she's dodging slash after slash. She's not phased by the wall, she's cutting up the man's Kagune. I'm just like, dog, HAIRU goes in! And the best, like, nice acrobatics you got there in that case. And the fight just continues. HAIRU just dodging shit, like the point blank dodge. The fucking mannerisms, she's like shaking off her hands, like, leave this to me. We catch those two dodges. Kijima just grabs his hat, does that one dodge. You see Fura with that other dodge just quickly on the side, not even engaging in the battle and whatnot. I'm like, dude, These people are no joke. My boy Fuda, I knew Kijima was going to be a fiend, but I knew Fuda had to be beast at this point. And I knew HAIRU, being that close to Kori, had to be hype. But this, just her demeanor. HAIRU is sexy as fuck to me, dude. She's quickly becoming one of my favorites. She's getting on that Akira level with her character design and just how she goes in, dude. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing, dude. And then Kijima just comes in, picks off the kill, uses his Quinky. We get to see his Quinky, the Tetsudo, which is basically a binding Bikaku used for capturing and everything like that. And he's able to capture that one ghoul that was with Matsumae, Yuma. Yuma's his name, right? Matsumae is able to get away and return to the Tsukiyama mansion. And this whole scene with Kijima, and before I get to that, I love the dialogue between Fura and HAIRU, where she's basically referring to Sasaki and Kori by their first names and everything like that. And saying how she wants to be praised by Arima. And that, in her mind, Fura's like, does Arima praise anyone? And Fura knows, Fura's been knowing Arima since they were young, bro. But here's the thing, does Arima truly praise anyone? Not really. I'm sure he might have praised Take, either Take, Kori, or Sasaki, probably the only ones to receive his praise. The shit that he said about Urie, fuck that doesn't count, that's bullshit. Fuck Urie, I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says, right? But we see that there's this desire for HAIRU, not just this infatuation with Kori himself, but this desire to be acknowledged by Arima. So that's interesting to see in how that goes going forward. And then just the banter between them, dude. But Kijima, dude, this information that we get about him, where Furu's talking about Kijima the Chipper, and he's like, I'll take care of the rest. I'll do it my own way, dude. And he gets this nickname because he used to be an interrogator at Kokura. And at HAIRU the Joker, she's like, isn't it because he chipped himself off and everything like that? No. This gets me thinking, dude, and that fiendish panel where he's like, you most likely won't say a word, no matter how I interrogate you. I understand that, and that's why I'm thinking of sending a little present to your friends. Where do you think that would be a good place? I see him chopping up the shit out of this dude, Yuma, and just sending the body parts back to the Tsukiyama mansion, just straight up, dude. But that backstory and that little bit of information and seeing how fiendish she is, I still fuck with the V theory. I still fuck with the Organization V theory. Until that gets discounted fully, I'm still gonna fuck with that somehow. But here's the thing. I'm wondering, what if Kijima is the same dude that tortured Yamori, Jason, back in the day, and turned him into what he was? Because we know that CCG member, actually after that incident with Jason, was transferred over to the junior academy and was also the one that was framing, Juuzo for killing off the animals and shit like that. What if it's fucking Kijima? What if it's Shiki? Like, no lie, what if it's him? I could easily see it. And then after that, he went to Koki and was fiending. And if that's the case, even that aside, that theory aside, because it'd be awesome if that was him and he was the one that tortured Yamori and set that ripple chain of events that led down to Kanea into place, right? But even going further than that, what if this man, if seeing as how he was an interrogator of Koklia, is tied to Danato in some way, and that's how Danato has been getting information, and in fact, this man is part of V, and potentially Danato is part of V as an extension. So that's just another interesting theory I thought of reading these pages and finding out more about Kijima, dude. Either way, one of those, something has to stick to this man, dude. But that's pretty much it. Then we see the scenes back at the Tsukiyama mansion. Kanea struggling once again with the fact, knowing that now that the CCG is keeping tabs on them and everything like that, it's gonna be harder to procure food for for Shu and everything like that. And he's like, my actions at this point, if I go wholeheartedly and make these steps solely for Shu, I'm gonna be putting the family as a whole at risk. And he asks, Matsumae, who do I serve? And he's like, Kanea, Matsumae says to Kanea, who exactly is your master? And that right there, I think, resolves Kanea wholeheartedly, where he's like, my master is the Tsukiyama family, and also Master Shu. Having to choose one is nonsense in the first place. I wish to save Master Shu as a servant of the Tsukiyama family, but it's difficult for the Tsukiyama family to make a move in this situation. So, he resolved himself to not forsake either sides. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, I think that Kanea would choose Shu regardless of what happens. Despite his loyalty to the family at large, he would choose Shu. But at this point, he decides to operate within the confines of both. And it seems as though with this page, dude, I love this actually. I really love this panel of Kanea with the rose and everything. Even though I give a shit about Kanea, where he's like, just listen to what I have to say, little mouse. So clearly, Kanea is going to be relying on Chie in some way, shape, or form in order to save Tsukiyama in this dire situation and whatnot. So this is going to be hype. I want to see how that goes and what his plan is. And then we see Shirazu and, you know, Bujin and Saiko going to get some food and whatnot. They're asking, you know, Bujin's asking about the other members. You see fucking Urie at the gym. I'm like, yo, what the fuck did the Urie doing bench presses and shit? I'm like, I don't need to see this shit. Don't waste a panel on this bullshit. Don't make the panel, no, the panel is slightly smaller than the panel with Juuzo and you know, Mutsuki and everything like that. So that's all good. But still, I just don't care. I don't care that the man's working out. I don't give a shit about him. I'm sorry. But it was kind of funny. I did laugh a little bit. But then we got the YORIKO stuff, and I'm hyped right now. Like, the YORIKO stuff is amazing. So, this chapter, great setup across the board with the HIRAKO stuff, showcasing, you know, HAIRU's abilities and everything like that, setting up stuff and allowing me to theory craft with Kijima, and one of those theories, I'm either, you know, the Yamori stuff with the, you know, the Juuzo tie-in and the torture and everything like that, potentially being tied to Danato and Koklia. Still, the V thing hangs over all of it. So, that's going to be interesting. The YORIKO setup, fucking the Uta, we're about to make mass trolling Sasaki and about to make mass for the Q squad, dude. Shit's about to be live. Shit's about to be amazing, dude. So, I'm hyped right now. But before I end this review, I just want to talk briefly about my boy Hide. Because for those of you that don't know, Hide is one of my favorite characters in Tokyo Ghoul. When I made my last top 5 characters in Tokyo Ghoul about almost a year ago, when Ri was starting, you know, almost a year ago, not quite yet. But when Ri was starting, I made this video. And I listed my top 5 characters. Hide was number 4 at the time. I still love Hide to death. He's still in there. I need to reorganize now at this point, but I love Hide. It's been almost a year, real time, since Hide's disappearance. Since that scene where he encountered Kaneki. I don't know how much longer I can hold on to my desire and my hope to see the man alive. Like, I'm going to give it 30 to 40 more chapters. Another year. Because at that point, I mean, I know Ishida is the type of person that can hold out until... he can hold out until the very end to bring Hide back. I can easily see that. But with this book that he inserted and sent to Kaneki, and I'm wholeheartedly holding on to the fact that I think it's Hide. But it could have very well been Neto. But I want to see the man. Now that we're seeing YORIKO, I want to see Hide in the next 30 chapters. I want some confirmation. Either he's dead or he's not. Please, Ishida, hook me up. Just hook me up. But that's pretty much it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'll be hyped if it. When it is, you're going to see me fanboy like never before. That's all I'm saying. If he's alive... it's gonna be crazy. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this chapter, and I'm out. Peace.